Hello and thank you for taking some time to view this video. My name's Joe, I work at Robin Hood Watersports and we wanted to do this video today just to go through Piranhas, basically their half-size downriver play boats. So as you can see, we've got the Mk2 Ripper here, the Ozone on this side, and then the all-new Firecracker, which is a really exciting boat on its own. So the aim of this video is basically to look at some of the different features for each of the boats and then ultimately sort of see which one you might go for. It's all well and good sort of going through the boats and explaining them, but you might be left sort of thinking, well, which one's the one for me? So hopefully we can try and clear that up. I think in an ideal world you'd probably have a few different boats, but with money and storage and other things, it's just not always possible. But also the simplicity of just having one or two boats is a really nice thing as well. So when we start looking at the Mk2 Ripper, the first thing you'll notice is its length. It's the longest out of the three boats. It's got the most volume and it has plenty of bow and stern rocker. With all these boats, I'm not going to go into loads of details on the technical specs. I'm sure there's a nice table where you can look at them and compare them all. I'm just going to give a real general sort of overview when it comes to that stuff. As well as that, all of the boats come in small, medium and large, so there will be a size that sort of suits your weight range. Like I was saying, so the bow, plenty of rocker and volume, so it's going to look after you on drops and bigger features. But then the stern, there is enough sort of slice and lack of volume to really be able to get it vertical and have fun when it comes to eddy lines. The Mk2 especially has been, is known to be quite tail happy, which is really good. It's why you get a boat like this, isn't it? To push that and have fun. And then we'll go to the other end of the spectrum, so the Ozone, shorter, less volume, and surfs like an absolute dream, just because it is so compact. It has got that slight progressive rocker. I think the biggest benefit of that is actually when you're on a wave, it doesn't want to dig into the front and throw you off. It just sits so nicely. And then obviously around the knees, there's a nice bit of volume. Which is nice, it's comfortable, it looks small, but once you're in there, it's actually surprising how much room you do have to move around and stuff. If you've got the skills, which I probably don't, you can actually sort of engage the front of this boat on waves if you want to. It's quite hard to do on flat water, but if you are into your cartwheels and front loops and stuff like that, the Ozone is the boat. And then we come to the Firecracker, so the newest release from Piranha, a really exciting boat to come out, and we've been looking forward to it for quite a long time. And yeah, super compact. It's obviously got that volume and bow rocker, but then a super slicey stern at the back as well. Because of its length, I think for UK rivers it's going to be an absolute dream. For lower volume, it's just going to snap into eddies really well, and then the same on the way out as well. I think it's going to be really nice and easy to get vertical, this boat, even easier than the Mk2 Ripper, which is potentially what you're looking for, isn't it? So all of these boats, obviously similar idea in mind, which is to have fun on the river and make paddling all sorts of different rivers as fun as possible. But they are all quite unique in their own way, so we'll take a closer look at some of the details now. So as I mentioned, I'm not going to sort of harp on about all the different tech specs on these. It's a lot to remember, but also they change with all the different sizes as well. So as I mentioned, these do come in small, medium and large. So yeah, you will be able to find one that suits yourself. So I'm just going to do a bit of a walk around so that you can sort of have a bit of a look at the different boats and compare them. So as we look at the 3 different sterns, you can see that the Mk2 Ripper definitely is the longest, and then the Ozone is the shortest, most compact. But in terms of volume, they are all very low. But you can also see that the Firecracker and the Mk2 Ripper do just have that bit more sort of rocker towards the back. As we move to the middle, you can see that the outfitting's all the same on these. So it's the Stout 2, which is a really nice outfitting. Loads to adjust. So obviously it's got the ratchets, which pulls the backrests in. They've all got a central pillar, giving great structure to the boat. They also come with outfitting bags as well, so you can make it a really personalised feel. This is something that we can help out in store as well if you were to go for a boat. And then finally we'll just look at the bows of these boats. Obviously we're not on the most level ground, but yeah, it's quite obvious to see that the Ozone definitely is the lowest, and then between the Firecracker and the Mk2 Ripper, it's actually very comparable, to be honest. If we were on dead even ground, then I don't think there'd be much in it. So I think now's for the slightly hard part, which is deciding, trying to help decide which boat you potentially would go for. It is hard because obviously you probably want them all, but obviously, yeah, like I said earlier, there's these limiting factors that mean that, yeah, you often sort of need to decide by one. I think ultimately, just being the middle boat, generally the Firecracker is going to be suited to the largest range of different things you want to do. So whether you're going out on a really low volume day on a small river, the Firecracker is still going to be very capable of getting vertical, of running all the drops. Whereas the Ripper, you might find that it's sometimes a bit too long in them situations. Obviously a longer stern, you need that depth of water. And then, yeah, the Ozone's probably perfect for days like that. But then you've got to think, if you've only got one boat, when the volume is bigger and you're on bigger rivers, then you want something that's going to look after you a bit more potentially. So the Ripper and the Firecracker just do come into their own. So that's something to consider. Another thing, if you do have a big creek boat, then you might think, well, on bigger days, I'm always going to take that anyway, on bigger, scarier days. So then do you go for an Ozone or a Firecracker, which you can use for lower volume days, which are going to be, yeah, really fun. And then you can snap in and out of your eddies, get vertical, and have that in your mind that when it is bigger, you've got that boat to paddle anyway. With that being said, the Ripper is such a great all-round boat because it can do all of them things. So when it is really big, you can sort of grab this one, and it's going to be good to paddle. Obviously the Mk2, it is quite tail happy. It's easy to adjust its line because of that. It's definitely a responsive boat. So that's something to bear in mind as well. So as always, if you do have any questions about these boats, about this video, please do get in touch, and we'll be happy to help. Whether you drop us an email, give us a call, or come into store and have a look at the boats for yourself. We'd always recommend that. It's always great to sit in a boat and you get a real feel for it that way. But also we're there to give some advice and go through the boats as well. In addition to that, we do have demo boats across all of these boats. So that could be a good chance to get out on the water and actually get a feel for all of them, which might help you narrow down your options as well. So yeah, please do get in touch, and thanks for listening.